Monday, Monday, Monday. And know what time it is. It's time for inspiration. It's time for motivation. It's time for you to live, no more hesitation. Monday, Monday, Monday. And know what time it is. It's time for inspiration. It's time for motivation. It's time for you to live, no more hesitation.
Pastor G will give you a word that will cause you to dream. And when you look at your challenges, you'll realize they're not as big as they seem. Get your pen and your paper, be ready to write, ready to write. What you're about to hear will cause you in the fight.
In Monday, Monday, Monday. And know what time it is. It's time for inspiration. It's time for motivation. It's time for you to live, no more hesitations. Blessed is your new beginning. Get ready for your season to win. In Monday, Monday, Monday. And know what time it is. It's time for inspiration. It's time for motivation. It's time for you to live, no more hesitation.
It's time to win, you got blessings on blessings. It's time to win, you got blessings on blessings. It's time to win, you got blessings on blessings. It's time to win, you got blessings on blessings.
Monday, Monday, Monday.
It's time to win, you got blessings on blessings. It's time to win, you got blessings on blessings. It's time to win, you got blessings on blessings. It's time to win, you got blessings on blessings.
Blessings on blessings on blessings on blessings on blessings on blessings on blessings. You know, I love saying blessings on blessings on blessings. You heard the words of the song. It's Monday night. I'm excited. It's indeed a privilege to be here. I'm sitting before you, one that has been chosen to do amazing things for God. I don't know if you know it or not. The bigness that you were created to be has not even entered your life yet. You are much larger. There are some significant things that you have not yet done. And I love this because I talk to myself all the time about this. There are some big things that God has planned. God has given us word to develop our faith. Why is that important? Because I got to have faith enough to even enter this big, if you will, this level of life. We got to have faith to enter here because it's going to be so amazing. It's going to be like, wow, God, you're doing this for me. And I'm preparing you because that's exactly what God is saying to you. There's something big on the horizon, and your faith, posture yourself to receive this next level of life. I'm thankful again. It's Monday. I'm going to continue teaching in the vein that I started on yesterday, Sunday, February the 8th. When I began to teach yesterday and the date came across my mind, I'm not big on numbers. When I say I'm not big on numbers, I don't do a lot of speaking about the significance of numbers. I know that God is God. He's the God of every day. But yesterday, when I said February the 8th, something dropped in my spirit and I began to share. 8 is the number of new beginnings, new beginnings, new beginnings. And when I mentioned that yesterday, it was immediately dropped in my spirit to declare to the people that this was the beginning of their new beginning. And tonight I want to say that and speak into your spirit. There's an opportunity that is set before us now. It's God's heart for us to walk in a reset of our life, the new beginning, the segue into destiny, if you will. The time of your creation becoming what you live out of. That's what we are entering into now. This is the reason for the distractions that we see in the world today. I want you to catch this in your spirit. The reason why there is so much commotion, there is so much confusion in the world today is because the enemy desires that we miss this reset moment. that we are unaware of this moment that we're in. Now, hear me with your good ears, because this will be very important for you to take advantage of what you've been praying for. You've been praying for something new to happen in your life. And the Father is saying to you tonight that new is here. New is here. And so I want to continue in that. If you will, do me the favor of sharing this. You got people that you know that are their mindset is kind of, I don't want to say they're depressed. I don't want to say they confused, but there's something that is upon them and they can't quite understand what it is. It's an opportunity from the God of creation to move out of an old life, old rituals, old routines into a life. Now, this is a gift into a life that he has destined them to be. And so I want to get in right there. Now, the key to this season, the segue, the thing that we are going to have to embrace, and this is important, is that it requires us to live in rest. It requires us to live in rest. Please share, continue to share. It requires you and I to live in rest. What does that mean? I got to rest from my labor and walk into God's favor. This next move from God will require us to get rid of our own self-efforts and depend on what he is doing in our lives. I was talking to my wife the other day. One of the key things that God dropped in my spirit about being successful in a season that he has placed upon you is to recognize that your disciplines are great. Discipline is great, but don't confuse your discipline ability with what grace produces. Now, let me explain. Oftentimes when we think about receiving things from God and maintaining things, we think that they are maintained through our discipline. But listen to me. This life that God gives is only maintained from the grace that he gives to be able to maintain the life. Now, you can be very disappointed about discipline and trying to make that the thing that keeps you in position when it was a grace position. Now, don't make the mistake of thinking that I'm saying it's not necessary to be disciplined. I'm just saying to even enter the life and be successful in the life, you must recognize it is grace that created and it's grace that maintains it. Now, you can add your disciplines after the fact that I've understood that grace is what got me here and grace is what keeps me here. And God wants it like this because too many times through our discipline acts, and we hear it so oftentimes, that we are in position because we were so good and we disciplined ourselves and we did this, that, and the other, when actually, and in fact, the Bible says very clearly, Romans 5:17, that those that have received the abundance of grace shall reign in life. In other words, the reason why the reign has eluded us, or the place of authority has eluded us, is because we thought we convinced God to do it through our good acts, as opposed to the grace that he's given us to even be good. Wow. So I wanted to get that into your life really quickly. Great life is ahead. What you've been praying for is available. Even with you being in or in the midst of a season of what it seems like confusion, when you wanted to go left, for some reason you ended up right. When you was looking up, for some reason you ended down. Now, the Lord has me speaking this because I want to emphasize that I'm speaking to anointed people. Anointed people. Now, this is going to be a great season. This is going to be a great time of clarity in our lives, that we are to depend more on what God did and done and doing, as opposed to what religion tells us the requirements are. I'm loving it already. Now, Now, for those that are in a season of confusion and you know that you've been promised something major, but it seems like you're always a disappointment to yourself, and now you have convinced yourself that you are a disappointment to God. I want to tell you something, and I want you to hear me again with your good ears. God has a plan, and when God plans something, he also put a process in place. You are just in a process. Don't curse the process, because God's got something major. So we are entering, again, the new beginning. From tonight forward, I need you to believe with me that my life is now reset to begin again with better understanding of what God is doing and not what I am doing. If I trust in myself, and I am taught to do it regularly by my systems that I allow to speak into my life. I want to say it like this. In many cases, the very thing that we are taught that should bring life is the thing that robs us of the life. The very thing that I have allowed myself to hear in some of my settings, like religious settings, what I think is bringing me life is actually that is preventing the life. And this is a difficult moment. This is a difficult moment because it's confusing, because I think what is happening, I'm doing everything that I am taught to do, but it seems I'm not getting the results that I expected. Well, I'm saying this because it is important that you understand. It is by grace that you get it, and it is by grace that is maintained. You are in a process. And the process at this point is the most important part of your life. And in process, things happen. God will expose to dispose. This is confusing to religion, because religion in most cases don't want exposure. It desires that everything look good, because we're doing a lot of times photo ops to make sure everything looks wonderful. But before you segue into new, there is an exposing of the things in you that are old. Again, God only does this exposure to dispose of. There are some, before it gets better, hear me very clearly, anointed one. Before it gets better, it seems like it gets uglier. It seems like some things come up that you thought you were done with, or you don't have to deal with no more. No, you just buried them. And before God takes you to your new place, he will uncover them, because he does not want that thing to rear its ugly head when you get in your new place. This is what has happened to you and is happening to you. This is not the devil. This is God's due process in your life. And you got to trust the process. So don't despise your process. Hear me? Don't despise your process. And it happens to the best of those that are called to do significant things. Paul just says it like this in Romans 7. Oh, wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from this body of death? Now, this was a very astute man in his Judaic background. He was a scholar. He understood the Mosaic law. But when he gets the call from grace that would cause him to segue out of his old life into the life of grace, it causes you to fight with what you think you know, or what you were reared in, and what you were taught, and what you know much about, to allowing yourself to enter a grace moment where God says, that doesn't matter. If you trust me and trust grace, I will give you, watch this, the qualifications to move in a life that you didn't build through your good acts. This is important. This will cause you to eliminate most of the days of condemnation that through your good teaching causes you to disqualify yourself in a moment that God needs you to stand up. Like in your everyday life, when you see somebody struggling, or you see an incident, if you will, and God says, I need you to go and pray a prayer of faith on that person, perhaps in many cases you know nothing about, but in your spirit, it is leading you to a move or activate. But because of what you were taught and because of how you were reared, you disqualify yourself. The first thing you say to yourself is, who am I to think I am? That's religion rising up in you, and religion will oppose what grace has just demanded upon your life. I'm trying to help somebody because this new life is upon you. There's a reset that is upon your life. And the greatest battle, the greatest opposer to this new life, watch this, is what you were taught your whole life. And I hope this doesn't offend somebody, but this is the truth. The confusion that we are experiencing in the world, the things that we're watching on television, social media, and all of the other places that you get your news from is actually an attempt from the enemy to distract us from this moment that is a portal that segue us into new life. You can call it what you want, but at its core, it's just a distraction, because this is the opportunity to walk in a new beginning. A new beginning. The enemy will fight this word tonight subtly in your mind, not by opposition necessarily, but by distraction. He's gonna try to distract you. He'll fight to make what I'm saying tonight just a passing, fleeting thought. He does not want this to lock in. He wanted to go in one ear and out the other ear, because he wants you to continue to operate in what you feel good about, because it's what you were reared in, but never brought life. And the Lord is saying, now I need the people to hear, because the magnitude of God's heart concerning us and this reset moment is so huge. The enemy is fighting with distraction. He's going to use some good people to cause you to be distracted. Pay attention to this moment. But God is saying to you, all I need you to do is lock in faith. Let me say this while I'm here talking about this reset moment. There will be a separation. And this is going to require a lot. It's a small requirement, but it's going to be interpreted as big, because you found people that have finally accepted you. You finally got a group of people that you fit in with, or so you believe. And it has, quote unquote, blessed your soul, because you finally found it. You worked real hard your whole life to find some friends, your posse, if you will, your tribe, if you will. You didn't understand, while you were despising the life that you had to live, the quote unquote lonely, reject, if you will, life. You didn't understand that was something placed on you by the Father because of what you carried. Yeah, because of what you carried, because of his intent, because of the mandate, because of what you would eventually move into. He caused the rejection to be upon you, the life of not being able to connect to people. You despised it, but God blessed it. You thought it was an indictment, but God said it was the indication that you are carrying something. And so while you've been fighting to get in the group, God is saying, now I'm going to separate you from the group, because now is the time for your new beginning. This is the initiation of this new life. I hope you're hearing me very clearly. So the enemy is going to fight this moment. There is a routine word. There's a routine system that has already gotten the advantage in your life. And so when God comes with the challenge of being the one that shifts, he's challenging you to shift. It's very difficult because, again, we live in a democratic mindset. A democratic mind. What does this mean? We are governed by how many people we see doing a certain thing. That is what governs if the thing is right to do. But this time and this season for the chosen, it's not governed by how many people you see doing a certain thing. God is going to give you a route that is different from the route. And he's going to require you to go in faith. And if you will step out in faith, the new life will initiate immediately. This is so important for your life. This is what the heaviness is of this season. This is why things seem so heavy. You live in moments where you know that you should be happy, but I can't get happy. And why is everyone else happy? And why does it feel like I'm weighty? Well, if the Spirit of the Lord would allow you to be happy in your current circumstances, why would you think that you needed to shift? This is not an indictment. This is not an indictment. This is the love of God saying to you, you're not normal, and I can't make you feel normal. If you do, you'll never step into this moment. Your new life is nigh thee, and it's up on you now. I'm talking to you. This is your time of new life. This is a portal in your life. It's God's requirement that you step in. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. Well, if that's the case, Pastor, why have I, as I look back over my life, this is a testimony of so many, I've got myself into some things that I'm actually ashamed of. I'm not proud of the moment. I'm not proud of that. Well, I get that. I really do. I do. People that are chosen by God that don't understand what that actually means and the directives that come with it will always get themselves into things that they are not happy with. You might not be able to explain what it is, but there's something inside you that say, I carry something that is different. I don't know how to articulate the difference. I don't even know how to say it, but I carry something. Now, what happens to these type people, chosen people, is that in their spirit, they know that there's something major in me, but I have not had it explained to me. So I can't dare believe that I'm different from those people I look at that I think has got it going on and they're happy. You must realize that they are happy because they are not weighted with the weight that you're weighted with. It's easier for them to go through life carefree because there's no pull on their life. But you, on the other hand, it's different for you. There's a pull on your life. This is why you are down when they're happy, because there's something inside you that say there's something different. That's much more. I can't articulate it. So the only thing I know is if they're happy, they're in a better space than I am because I'm unhappy. This means that I'm not in a good space. No, it means that you are being pulled on by destiny, and destiny won't let you rest because it's too important to God for you to get in the posture and position. I'm talking to you. Listen to me. When you are destined by God and there's a true call upon your life to do something different and something major, listen, the receiving of a title doesn't satisfy the hunger. Getting a better position in organizations don't satisfy. Now, it has been the tool the enemy used to make people think that this is going to satisfy. Y'all, look. I go to church now. And so that's supposed to satisfy. Listen to me. I'm a pastor, and I say this from the depths of my heart. I believe in church. From the depths of I know the necessity. I know that the church is the institution designated by God to preach the kingdom curriculum. I believe that with my whole, I believe that the assembly is important. I believe that we should not forsaken the assembling of ourselves together. I believe Psalms 133, how good and how pleasant it is for brothering to dwell together in unity. I believe that that unity, as that passage says, produces healing. It produces an oil that flows down to the beard. I believe all of that. But I know how the enemy will take these moments. The enemy, I'm telling you what he'll do. He'll take moments like these and he'll try to substitute your joining church for you. Watch this, connecting to destiny. And we have to be very careful because we're not trying to produce people that think that they're satisfying the call by just joining church. We're getting down to the parts that we got to scrutinize, because when God says it's a new beginning, he is saying to you, study to show yourself approved. In other words, dig deep, because you're going to have to go in on some things that has caused you to live in failure. And the failure was not with God. It was in your own heart and your own mind that won't allow you to embrace the grace that God has placed upon you. So let me get to this. So this is a new beginning season. The Father has required this upon your life. It is time for you to embrace it. You are to embrace this new when you're still living in what you consider old. This has got to be the place that you posture yourself. God, I believe what you said, even though I don't see it with my eyes. I believe what you said. I believe that I am to walk into my new beginnings. I believe that I am to do it now. Listen. In this disruption moment, there's some things that are being spoken in this disruption. What is being spoken to those that can discern in the spirit? This is a moment that also shifts us out of the voice, or shift out the voices that once spoke. Don't think it strange when certain voices get on. This is a designated moment. Hear me in the spirit. There are certain people that are designated to say certain things at certain times. You are surprised by what they said, but this is a part of the process. God is going to finish this process. You have to be close enough to the Father to understand when something is said that this wasn't, don't be so offended by it. Just understand that this is process. This is process. This is God allowing things to be said and to be heard to eliminate. In many cases, this is what this is doing. Let it be said, but you have clear understanding of what God is saying and why it's said. I just say it like that. This is important. This is important. This is important. This is important. Now, let me end with this. This is a season that you must walk in rest. And rest is only achieved by your ability to understand that what I am and who I am and what I'm going to maximize is by the grace of God. You have labored too long to create something as a gift to God, to try to convince him to accept you. You are already accepted by God. You don't get a life that you are to gift him with. I'm trying to make sure I articulate this right and don't be too offensive. We are taught that we go and construct this life and take it to God as a gift. And he says, now you are accepted because you brought something acceptable. That is a complete, a very thorough throwing back into God's face that what Calvary created was not good enough. See, we don't know how we offend God with our great religious acts, the filthy rags, the self-righteousness. This has caused the calamities in this world. And it's hard for us to discern because this is all we know and all we've done. The people that are creating the calamity are people that you thought was created. Ooh, your new life. Or what they were saying was the keys to your new life. It is the keys to your calamity. Because subliminally, it defies the work of Calvary. And let me be very clear. And most of them that do it is not aware that they're doing it. That's why it's so dangerous. It's because they are telling you, they are condemning you about things because you got caught up into something and all they know how to do is highlight what you were caught up into. They know nothing about due process. Why? Because they haven't been through a process. The only thing they did was picked up something that was given to them and they are regurgitating it. Haven't been through process. This is why most of them cannot believe that you have been transformed. This is why they give you all of the rules and the regulations from their upbringing. Why? Because you got to do this. Why? Because I can't believe that God can transform your heart. And if you even mention that grace transform your heart, you're going to get the fight of your life because they don't believe that. So they believe that grace couldn't do it. So let me give you the required acts to get grace or to get God's goodness in your life. Now, Pastor, how do you know this? And this is the very fight that Paul, the apostle, had in Galatians, oh foolish Galatians, who hath bewitched you and told you that what you are and who you are to become is based out of the law. He says that I'm afraid of you. I'm scared of you. Why? Because they taught the people these Galatians were a barbaric people that grace had found and grace had accepted in. But the people that thought they knew God best said, no, you can't come in like that. That's too easy. Grace, you better add this to your life. You better add this and you better do this and you better do this. And then you will be accepted by God. Why do that happen in most cases? It's because if your heart has never been transformed, it is impossible for you to believe that someone else's can. Let that sink. If your heart has never been transformed, if you never had a grace moment in your life, if all that you know and all that you are is based out of how good you were, how good you done it, and how good you can stand in your important places and declare that if you get like me, you can get what I got. But there's a generation that's coming up that from the very outset already realized that ain't what I want. And it's so offensive to the brass that God is raising up a people that really don't care about none of that. It's going to be just like, I might as well go and finish this out. It's going to be just like we are experiencing right now in our secular government. There is a people that believe that there is a people that is taking away their country and their stuff. And they're going to fight to the very end to make sure these people don't take our stuff. Well, the father told me about 3 or 4 years back, he says, what you see happening in secular government is the posture of the church. What does that mean, Pastor G? There is some leadership that is saying that these new weird skinny jean dreadlock dress wearing people is not going to come and take away. They despise the move of God. Jesus says this in Matthew 11 as he's rebuking a religious spirit. He says to the religious spirit, what did you go out to see? Oh, you expected this kingdom move because John was the introduction to the one that would bring kingdom. Oh, you expecting those that are responsible for this kingdom move to look like what you want them to look like. And you didn't know that God had just said in a new beginning, it's going to be a new beginning. In this new world, it's going to look new. And whom he has qualified, he is qualified. And there's nothing that, so Jesus says, what did God say? He says, and to what do you liken this generation? He goes on to explain it. Would you please go read it? This has already been dealt with in detail because kingdom was coming. This was something different than what had been lived for 1400 years. The Mosaic law had been given 1400 years and they lived in it. But when the shift came, those that had lived in the old order had a problem with it and they tried to fight it, but they couldn't stop it. So John, the introducer of it, said, you vipers. I'm just preaching the scripture because there is a segue into something brand new and something old is going to try to fight it, but can't stop it. So Jesus says, look, to what do you liken this generation? He says it's like children in in the marketplace. That's interesting that he said that. Children represent immature people. People that are in position but immature because they can't see the Spirit of God moving. They can't interpret the Spirit of God. As a matter of fact, when they see the Spirit of God that moves, that does different things outside the system, they call it the devil because of the misinterpretation. That's why Jesus was called the devil by a religious spirit, because they couldn't understand what this is that he's introducing. And we don't like it because it's not following our order. And we don't like things that don't follow our order. And Jesus says, like it or not, here it is. And it said, what do you like? What do you like in this generation? Children, immature people in a great place of opportunity, but don't recognize it. And then it says, here's what the Spirit looks like. It said, John came eating nothing. You called him a devil. Son of Man came eating. You called him. So in other words, you can't be pleased. You can't be pleased. And since you can't be pleased, we're not going to try to please you. We're not going to try to please you. We're not going to try. This new nation, this new generation, these people that are being birthed in this new beginning are coming forth. And God separated you. You could never be in the mix because he didn't want you to have to fight to get rid of it. New beginnings are upon us. This night was a night of me teaching and letting you know that you are to posture yourself, prepare yourself, and actually grab a hold to faith. I was going to say some other things, but my time is up. Those of you that have tried it, it was so difficult for you to get your footing is because God was gracious enough not to let you get acclimated and get locked into a system that he was not endorsing you to be in. Now, let me pay attention to something that I know that you need to. I want to be very detailed because I was reared in it. I respect it. When you preach or teach like this, people think that you're disrespecting. That's not the case at all. I would, under normal circumstances in the past, not say anything because I didn't want to dishonor. But for the sake of those that are coming into and the position that God has destined for them, your ministry is so important to what God is doing. You, those of us that are teachers, have to do an inventory of this moment and say that it's more important for me to speak and give life to those that are the people for this particular moment than to shut up because you want to honor. I think about Jesus when he dealt with the woman with the issue that had the issue of blood for 12 long years. If you really look deep into that story, she's been bleeding, hemorrhaging for 12 long years. She was the delay for him getting to the 12-year-old. She was the delay for him getting. So she's been hemorrhaging for 12 years. Now it's a time for a 12-year-old to segue in. And sometimes what we do is allow the people that have been hemorrhaging for a long time to delay us getting to the people that are now trying to get life, and they are significant for the new move of God. Now, if you really do details, and I don't do numbers like I said up in the beginning, but here's what 12 represent. 12 is the number of government. So what we are seeing now in this segue, there's a hemorrhaging for 12 years, an old government that is kind of sick, delaying the new light that is coming in. And we won't let that be the case this time. There is new life. There's new life for those that have been struggling, that find yourself in a very difficult place. You wanted to go left, but you went right. When you wanted to go right, it went left. When you wanted to go up, it went down. Please don't despise the process. Now is the time that the right get right. There's some of you that when you looked at your left, there was nothing right. And when you went to your right, there was nothing left. But now that this season is upon you, the new beginning is upon you, God can take everything that is right and show you that there is some things that is still. He can make it right and show you that there's still some things that's left. Then he'll go to your left and say, now let's make all of that right because of the timing and the season that you're in. This is what I'm saying. New beginnings is here and it is now. I need you to trust God for it. What failed you and eluded you in the past, give God another faith chance and watch him fulfill. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Your time is now. Father, thank you for this word. Thank you for this time. Thank you for those that heard this word. Thank you for always being good to us. And thank you for always coming through when we need you most. We say yes to your will, yes to your way, yes to your call. And God, I might been denied in my past season, but I am bona fide in this season because you said it, even when they didn't say it. You seen it when they couldn't see it. And thank you for that. It's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Thank you so much again. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much again for tuning in. If you want to sow, here it is. Here's the way to sow. Thank you. Meet Lady T at 6 a.m. in the morning for Eat Early Affirmations. I won't be on tomorrow night, Tuesday. There's another event I got. So thank you for tuning in tonight. I haven't been calling a lot of names. I've been trying to just come on, boom, what I'm supposed to do, and then boom. But I appreciate every last one of you guys that are tuned in tonight. I do. I appreciate you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you. 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 NOB, love you. Blessings on 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 blessings. Now, Wednesday, again, our Wednesday night Bible study will be open. You are invited to that. So come on Wednesday. Blessings on 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 blessings.
It's Monday, it's Monday, it's Monday. And know what time it is. It's time for inspiration. It's time for motivation. It's time for you to live, no more hesitation. It's Monday, it's Monday, it's Monday. And know what time it is. It's time for inspiration. It's time for motivation. It's time for you to live, no more hesitation.
Pastor G will give you a word that will cause you to dream. And when you look at your challenges, you'll realize they're not as big as they seem. Get your pen and your paper, be ready to write, ready to write.